Passive income is marketed as this calm, effortless stream of money that just flows into your life. Like you set something up once and you get to go live your best life while it handles itself. And I would love that for all of us. I truly would. I wish that for everybody. But what they don't tell you about passive income is that before it becomes passive, it requires a lot of very unpaid active work. Hello, my beautiful entrepreneurs. My name is Tabitha, and welcome to A Hot Mess Builds an Empire. I help day one entrepreneurs take that first terrifying leap into business ownership without completely losing their minds in the process. This channel is for the people who are standing on the edge of something really scary, but also equally just as marvelous, wondering if they are absolutely unhinged for even considering the jump. Before we get started on today's episode, I did promise that I would make the announcement about having some type of monthly call or something like that. So I am very pleased to say I started something called the Mess Hall. Oh my God. How cute is that? I know. I love sticking with the hot mess theme. And I came up with the mess hall and I thought it was so good. So we're sticking with it. Yes. Yeah, for me. Yeah, for me and my naming. But anyway, the first one is going to take place on April 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is a Saturday. I thought maybe we would give that Saturday slot a try for a couple of months and just see. I have 3 months listed. So, sign up for whatever you want, sign up for all three. It's $5 per. It just helps cover the cost of hosting a lot of people on Zoom. But yeah, so I just will give the Saturdays at 1 p.m. a try. This way, I know there's some people who watch me from the West Coast. This way, it's not like super early for you guys. And hopefully, this works with like different time zones and stuff like that. So, if it doesn't work out, just please let me know and I'll happily try something different. But we're going to go with this for at least the first 3 months and just see how it goes. And I'm really excited. And I hope to see you at the mess hall. We're going to be commiserating and we're going to be connecting and holding each other accountable. There's going to be themes and topics every month that will focus on like one particular thing, or maybe we'll do a workshop, together where I'll share my screen and I'll show you guys how to do something. But in the meantime, check it out. The link to it is in my stand store and it's just going to be a lot of fun. The next thing I want to share is it's rather personal and it's just like super random, but in yesterday's video I did share that as of this week I've lost 110 pounds. And just so random, I was thinking about this ring that I used to wear all the time and I stopped wearing it because my fingers got too big and I couldn't fit it anymore. And it made me really upset. It's stupid jewelry. I bought it for myself. Like there's no sentimental value behind it. It's just I really enjoyed wearing this ring and I lost it and um it didn't fit anyway anymore. So I just, I forgot about it, whatever. So my husband just came back from a trip and the ring was caught in the netting of the mesh of the suitcase on the inside and it fits again. So I have my octopus tentacles that I'm usually always wearing. And then this little guy, isn't it cute? I love like old broachy Victorian-esque looking rings where it looks like it could be a brooch. I love those and I loved the black jewels. Like I said, totally fake. I think it was like $10 at JC Penney or something like that, but you guys, it fits after years. It fits. It was found and it fits. And I'm really happy about my health journey. And I just wanted to share that small win. It was just like such a random occurrence that happened last night. And it was just like such a great win. And I wanted to share it because, I focus so much on business and having little victories with your business here and there that there are personal wins in your life that matter too. And, you know, everything counts towards your happiness and your overall well being and your overall mental health. And it's little things like that that just make you feel really good because, it was just really cute. My husband came up to me with the ring and he's like, "I think you're missing this." And I was like, "Oh my God." So, just take all the small wins that you can, personal, professional, entrepreneurial, um, and just let them compile and make you happy and get you through the day. Today's episode is talking about the unglamorous world of passive income. And I think this is a really important topic. And I think this is a really important episode that I am creating today. So hopefully I do it justice because, I really fell into the passive income trope when I first started my business that if you weren't creating something that had passive income, you weren't doing it correctly. And, the whole point of being an entrepreneur is to have passive income and a lot of low effort and this, that, and the other. And I think the passive income sales marketing thing is not lying. It's just missing a lot of context. Like the fine print is not findable. So, we're going to go over what the unglamorous world of passive income looks like today. And this is not me trying to deter you away from leading a life of passive income. I think passive income is a wonderful, wonderful thing. But when you are just starting out and you have no audience and you have no trust and you have no confidence or alignment or anything like that, it's really hard to build passive income when you are starting out. Like it's just not something that's sustainable. So let's dive into that. Let's talk about that and let's be honest about passive income today. So you may have heard about passive income, and passive income is where you build something, you put it out in the universe, and you only have to build it once and then people can pay for it. This is like going on Etsy and selling Canva templates or, you know, selling like downloadable PDFs or maybe setting up newsletter funnels that's like from a paid newsletter, that kind of thing, where it requires like low effort, low maintenance. At least that's what it's sort of marketed as. And I just think that's not true. Um, the set it and forget it thing, it's not a lie, but it's just missing the part where there's a lot of unpaid labor provided by you that goes into creating this passive income. So you could spend weeks, months, and I've seen people spend years building something because they're doing it part time while working full time and not getting paid for what it is that they're building. So it's taking them longer to get this thing done. Say a course, right? I use knitting as an example. I'm going to use knitting because I know how time consuming knitting can be. So let's say you're starting a course on knitting. You're teaching people how to knit, or you're teaching them how to do, something that's more complicated, certain patterns, a sweater, whatever. But what this requires from you is you're working your full-time job and then you have to come home and you're filming yourself and editing those videos to put into a course to show people how to knit and to show people how to do this complicated pattern, right? And that takes time. You are not getting paid for that time until you launch the course. Now, in the meantime, with you building this course, you're also trying to build a following on social media so you have people who will buy the course when it is done. That also requires unpaid effort and unpaid labor and building trust and building confidence in yourself and making sure that everything is right. And you want to make sure that you're setting up the course so it's easy to use, easy to follow. And if you want it to be passive income, you want it to be so that maybe somebody has a question here or there, but not that it requires like active participation from you constantly. And, when you're creating these passive income things, I've seen people spend years building, like 2 years building something because they were working full time and they couldn't quit their full time job to work on this course because they weren't getting paid because it wasn't passive income yet. It was still very much active labor and not getting paid. And so I just want you guys to know that it's passive, sure, but I would think of it more as deferred payment. Like you've already put in work for it, you're just finally getting paid for it. Um, so I think passive income is not where you want to start with your business, but it's where you eventually want to arrive with your business. And I think there's a very significant difference there. and to just kind of carry on a little bit about what I was saying is in building it is, you're building this course about knitting, right? And it requires you to build the thing and then market the thing, and then you have to maintain the course and you have to fix it when it's going to break. And I'm not putting that out in the universe to be negative, but like links break, like if you lead people to an external site, sometimes those sites go down, they move, they're bought by another business. Not all the affiliate links will work anymore. Like there's all these things that you have to consider when you're building something, especially like a course. Um, there is maintenance involved. So you want to make sure that when you're trying to build something that would be a type of passive income, that not only has it paid for your time that you've already invested into making the thing and marketing the thing and maintaining the thing, but you want to make sure it pays for your time moving forward for like the maintenance and upkeep of it to make it up to date. Like, such as there are people who do social media courses that, um, on the front end, it may look like passive income for them, but they need to be up to date on social media changes. Like, I've seen people try to sell social media courses for, they've been doing it for years, but you just know that they haven't updated it because they're just trying to stick to that passive income thing. And if you read through some of these courses, it's like, well, this isn't applicable anymore because I know the algorithm changed because I follow that creators for Instagram account, and it already said that this is debunked, this is gone, you can't use that many hashtags anymore. Like there's all these things, right? Like that you have to stay up to date with so that your people are getting the most bang for their buck, so that they're getting the most up to date information about whatever the topic is. And I just think it's really important to consider these things going into it, that there's maintenance and upkeep and things that will cost you your time. So when you're setting up passive income items, please make sure you're getting paid for the work you've already done and getting paid for the maintenance that you have to upkeep as time goes on. So when it comes to passive income, it still needs visibility. You could build the most beautiful digital product on the planet called Earth, and if no one sees it, you're making bupkis, right? So it still requires content, trust, traffic. You don't escape that visibility factor just because something is considered passive, right? So there's just sort of all of these things that go into the visibility aspect of, like, especially if you're just starting out on social media, there's the fact of building up an audience. If you're just starting a blog, building up the traffic, building up the backlog of content, whatever it is that you're doing. I'm speaking to day one entrepreneurs on this channel. So if you already have an established business, maybe this isn't so much for you. But when you're just getting started, it's really difficult to dive into the world of passive income when you have no traction. So you need that visibility aspect, and you need a decent portion of it, because if you want your affiliate links to make you money on your blog and you want your blog to make you money just from the traffic alone, you need the traffic, you need a lot of content, you need some marketing, and that requires active labor that you're not getting paid for. So just like consider all of these things that are going into these passive income adventures. Now, I do have a breakdown of some passive incomes. Bear with me. I'm going to reference my notes and not look at the camera for a second, but because not all passive income is created equal and it's all different. So you have digital products which require you to have an upfront build. So you're putting in the time and effort to create something first. And then there's ongoing updates for that. Then you have affiliate marketing. This could be, for example, a big example is Amazon links on your blog. I have them on my blog too. We all do. But that needs traffic and it needs trust. And then we have licensing and royalties. This has just such long timelines and can be very unpredictable. If you're writing an ebook that you publish through KDP, which is Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing process and program, you have two, I believe, as of this point in time of recording this video, you have two different ways that you can make royalties. I think one is like 70% and one is like 35 or 33% or something like that. But it works with the Prime Now and being a part of a Kindle Unlimited and all sorts of stuff, right? But um, if you're selling your book for $5 and you're making 30% royalties, like you need a lot of people to be buying your book to make money to be able to quit your job, or you need to be writing a lot of books, which again requires a lot of unpaid labor first to then start seeing that turnover over time. So, just consider that has longer timelines and it can be very unpredictable. If you're writing something very seasonal, such as like you're into horror and, maybe Halloween theme type stuff, you might see an uptick in your sales around Halloween time, which can be a bit predictable. But throughout the rest of the year, that could be quite unpredictable. So, you know, resting your laurels on that to pay bills and stuff, it's a bit rough. So, um, just think about that when it comes to licensing and royalties. And uh licensing is rough too. I've done it before with being a travel photographer. I've licensed to clients, and that's unpredictable because you don't know if people want to license photos for one. It's just something that I would pitch as like an add-on. And it depends on what they want to do. If they want to like mass produce physical copies of your work versus they just want to use it on as like a hero image on their website, or they're only going to use it for a year until they work with another client that's going to update like a different theme of what that travel board is focusing on for the next year. It depends on how much money you would make. You can't sit there and go like, well, every time I license a photo, it's going to be $10,000 because that is not the case. There's a lot of factors that go into it. And again, there's long timelines, lots of back and forth with contracts, and it's unpredictable if people want to license things from you. The last thing I have here is courses. So they require a lot of maintenance and positioning, and depending on where you house your course, it could cost more money on the back end. Like Kajabi and Teachable are very popular, but they're very expensive. I used to have a Teachable account, and I had it for I think 2 years. While I was working on my course, they raised the prices 3 times, and I made no money off of it because, you're building something with active unpaid labor, and before you can make you money, right? Like you have to build the thing first. So courses can be kind of rough. But it does require maintenance. It does require some like tech support for your students. If something isn't working, it requires you to be available to them within a certain time frame. If links aren't working, if affiliates change, whatever, what have you, like it does require upkeep and maintenance. So it's not just you can build a course and then that's it. Like you do have to stay on top of that. So these are not shortcuts, right? Like they're just different types of businesses that like little businesses within your business and different income streams. Now they can become passive income streams, don't get me wrong, like there's no lie behind it, but I'm just trying to help debunk the myth that you just set it and forget it. Like it's not always the case. I think I said this before. I definitely fell into the passive income guilt trap when I first started my business because I saw all these entrepreneurs and bloggers and everybody making like passive income, and they would talk about passive income, and it was, how do you get to travel so much and how are you in Asia for 6 months at a time, and they're like, passive income, through my blog or through my course or whatever. And like I felt like I had to create passive income type things to be successful, and that not true. Because I'm going to get into alignment a little bit later here, but when it comes to passive income, you start doing this, well, I have to be making passive income specifically. And then you design things to create passive income, but you're just starting out. You don't really have that following, that trust, that alignment with all your products and your voice and everything yet. And you don't really sell a lot, if anything at all. And then you're like, well, I'm not making money while I sleep, and I'm not able to quit my job. And it sort of sets up this discouraging like atmosphere for you. And I would really hate to see you get discouraged because you're trying to dive into passive income and you don't have exactly all the ducks in a row that you would need to make passive income be successful for you. And again, this is for day one entrepreneurs that are literally like just getting started. So this is not meant to be a negative Nancy about it. I'm just trying to be honest about the passive income ride. And you start to feel behind when you're just starting out and you already feel awkward and behind as a day one entrepreneur entering the building where it seems like everybody else knows what's going on and it feels like everybody else knows what they're doing. We don't. I'm letting you know that right now. Everything is trial and error for everybody at all times of the day. But when you feel that way and you feel very isolated and you feel very alone, it sucks when you try to dive into passive income and then it doesn't work out and you get discouraged and you feel like you're doing a bad job at being an entrepreneur. And that's just not true. So, I just think it's really important to continue to debunk the passive income thing and do not get guilt tripped by passive income when you first start. Just please do not do that to yourself. So I want to talk about the multiple income streams mentality because I fell into this really hardcore and I was trying to get ads on my blog at the time. I had affiliate links. I have like a dog hair tickling my nose. I'm so sorry that I'm like scratching scratching my nose. Um but I was trying to get ads on my website. I had affiliate links for a couple different brands including Amazon. I was selling photography prints. I was working with clients and I was stretched a little thin in terms of trying to build multiple streams of income. And I think there's some misinterpretation about the multiple streams of income or multiple streams of income. Yeah. And that is, you know, have multiple streams, have them come from like the same place. And I think a very good example that I can give you is my Hot Mess Builds an Empire YouTube series right now. So everything that I am building right now is very centered around being a hot mess, building your empire. And I am working on getting monetized through YouTube, which is going to be a long journey, but one that I'm happy to commit to because I'm really enjoying the world of YouTube. But what's coming with that is also products and services that are related to a hot mess builds an empire. I have a hot mess to progress, which is $7 and you can buy that in my stand store and it's a quarterly reflection, positive only quarterly reflection for day one entrepreneurs. There's Hot Mess Triage, which is my business coaching call. I do that Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And now I have the Mess Hall, which is a community for entrepreneurs that's launching April 25th. And they're all cohesive. So they're different streams of income, yes, and they're a little more active than passive, yes, but they're coming from like the same ecosystem of a hot mess builds an empire. Before I was all over the place. Here's my blog this, here's traveling and photography for clients that, and here's me trying to sell photography prints over here. And they were they were themed in the sense that I traveled a lot for them. And that was about as close as they were connected. Everything was on a different website. Everything was here, there, everywhere. Whereas now you can get to everything in my stand store and it's connected through the hub that is my YouTube channel. I am getting close to monetizing my blog, like officially, with the company that I want to monetize with. I didn't want to do Google AdSense because I think it messes up your website, and I don't recommend it. But um, I am coming close to monetizing my blog, which is really really cool. But that's something I acknowledge as being separate from a hot mess builds an empire. So I would rather see you invest your unpaid time into building one amazing product or service instead of trying to think that you need to build five different things and they're kind of weak and they don't get a lot of traction. I think the best place to start as a day one entrepreneur is with one product or service or one product that is like an ebook or something like that that you're hoping will get you a few passive income bucks every month. And then an active service, such as like a coaching call or holding, monthly meetups or doing something for someone. Like, I just think that if you focus on one thing and do it well, you'll find that it's much easier down the line to then incorporate more things and continue to see that income increase without like killing yourself over it. So there is a misinterpretation about that multiple streams of income. So hopefully this has cleared that up for you, because I just think that we start as entrepreneurs and we go, I need passive income and I need 15 versions of passive income, and then we're like completely thinned out and none of it's working and we're trying to figure out what we're doing wrong. And really it's just we're doing too much. Doing too much, and that is absolutely a thing. Okay, so who does passive income actually work for? Now, I see passive income working for anybody, but like I see it working in a sustainable way where you can quit your full time job and live off of your passive income is for people who are not day one entrepreneurs. And I'm truly sorry if I'm bursting a bubble here, but you can make money every month on having an ebook. You absolutely can. But if you want to make enough money for you to quit your crappy full time job, then you need to have an audience. You need some credibility. You need to build trust with that audience. You need to have invested time into building some type of community that wants to buy from you and is looking forward to the next product that you're coming out with. So it does not mean that you can't build it. It doesn't mean that I don't believe in you. I truly believe that you can build whatever it is that you want to build, but just know that it takes time and your timeline is going to be very different from everybody else. Do not compare yourself to other people. That is also a trap. I have other videos about that, but do not compare yourself to others. Do not compare your version of what you think success is to other people's successes, right? Or victories. So, when it comes to passive income, it can absolutely work. It can absolutely work. But when you are just starting out, it is not the type of passive income where you throw something up on your stand store or wherever your storefront is, right? And you make $1 million overnight and you can move your family to Bali. It takes time, it takes courage, it takes unpaid labor to get there first, right? So please just consider these things going into the passive income world. So I just want to dive into my offers a little bit more. I know that I gave the example already, but um I have two kind of passive income things in my stand store right now. One is a book I wrote about just being honest and raw when it comes to writing. And then the other thing is just that the Hot Mess to Progress uh quarterly reflection for day one entrepreneurs. Now, the first day, I think I shared I sold a handful of the Hot Mess to Progress, which was really cool because I've never had first day launch sales before. Um but it's $7. And then I get a cut of that after everybody takes their fair share, like such a Stripe processing and stuff like that. Like I don't actually get $7 per. Um, but that was just something that I wasn't even like, here's passive income that I can create for myself. It just felt really aligned. Um, so I created it because it felt like something people might need. And I wanted to make it affordable because it requires more work from you than it required from me. I just put everything together and I asked thoughtful questions and I gave you an award, an Entrepreneur Achievement Award at the end. Um, but it's just one of those things that that's not something that I expect that I'm going to make millions off of. That is something that felt aligned for this moment in time, and I don't know if I'll keep it for forever. I'm going to update it at some point maybe, but it's just not something that I see generating massive income, at least not right now in this very moment in time. And that's just me being realistic. That's not me trying to be negative against myself. And it's because I don't have a massive audience yet, and that's totally fine, but it is starting to find its people, which is really cool. And I got another sale the other day and somebody messaged me and they were like, "Hey, like this was reference or referred to me from a friend." And I love that. I love the word of mouth thing so much, but again, that was one person. That was not 500 people. That was not something where I was like, "Well, now I can definitely, quit my full-time job." I cannot. Um and that's okay. It's just that it felt more aligned than it felt more like a passive income goal. Which leads me into your passive income versus aligned income. Um, Not everything in your business needs to be passive income. And there are some things that they're meant to be hand-on, they're meant to be collaborative, and they're meant to be real time. Such as, I decided I wanted to try my hand at hosting live events and, insert the mess hall. So the mess hall is $5 cover charge to mostly to just cover the Zoom upgrade for people to join for me to host webinars. But um, you know, the passive income part doesn't mean that it's better. I think aligned with you and your business and your values is better than it being passive. So just keep that in mind as well, because if people see that you're only about passive income and you're only trying to put things out there that require low interaction from you, sometimes people like that interaction part and sometimes people buy into more present and available people. So if everything you post is passive, it may just not go over very well. And I, just consider that, with some of your values and your business model, like passive doesn't mean better. Passive doesn't mean that you're being successful. Aligned means that you're being successful, and aligned means that you would see more sales. So, when you create something, just ask yourself, is this aligned with my values? Is this aligned with the message that I am sending out with my content? And if it's not, you're not going to make money off of that passive income that you're trying to sell. So I think we need to sort of reframe, instead of chasing passive incomes like in general. I think specifically we should be aiming to build things that are of value, build things that matter. You want to build trust and you want to build consistency. And I just think that that is far more impactful, far more powerful than trying to chase passive income in general. Now, like I said, I wish passive income for everybody. I think it's a great thing. And I wish us all 500 bajillion followers so that the passive income thing works out. But I just don't see passive income as a starting point that you can leap from and go, I'm creating this passive income thing and I'm going to make $100,000 overnight so I can quit my job and be with my family more, or whatever your goals are, right? It it usually just doesn't look like that. And it's a destination you can get to, but it requires, again, unpaid labor to get to there. So just keep this stuff in mind. Your time is valuable. You give up time with your friends, your family, your hobbies, whatever it is that you are sacrificing to build your business. So if you're building a product or a service that you're hoping will just be passive income, just keep in mind you're not getting paid right now for it. And you need to build up that rapport with the public for people to buy that passive income from you, or to trust that this affiliate link that goes to this product is something that they want to because people know how affiliate links work these days, at least for the most part. And you want to build that trust, you want to build that rapport, and you want to build that confidence in people, that they go, you know what, I see her use this all the time. I'm gonna take the dive and I'm gonna buy it, and I know that this is an affiliate link that's gonna get her $20 or whatever. So um you know just just keep that in mind. That passive income, I just don't think is a really good starting point, but it's an eventual arrival destination, right? Like you can totally absolutely get there. I hope this video was helpful. I do know that passive income is like just such an interesting topic that I just see it framed so positively without the fine print, that day one entrepreneurs kind of get stuck in this I was stuck in it too. You get stuck in this guilt trap that if you're not successful with passive income, you couldn't possibly be successful as an entrepreneur because you're not making a ton of money while you sleep. And that's just absolutely not the case. You can be totally successful with active income and be a part of your business. And, I just don't want to see you get wrapped up in something that would discourage you from continuing your entrepreneurial journey. So I hope this video was very helpful. Um, like I said several times throughout this episode, starting April 25th is going to be the first ever mess hall. We're entrepreneurs, we're going to get together, we're just going to swap war stories and just hold each other accountable. If this is something you guys want to do every month, I'm happy to host it. And we will just hold each other accountable and follow up on the next call and hey, how did this thing go? How did the launch go? How's the product creation going? Whatever. And we can even do things where I know sometimes people like doing workshops where I show you how to build your website real quick, and we can do that in an afternoon. And there's just all sorts of things that we could do together on these mess hall calls. So I really hope to see you there. You can sign up through the link in my YouTube description. It's via stan.store, and it will be on Zoom. Again, it's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 25th, which is a Saturday. So I hope you can make it. And if that time, for whatever reason, doesn't work for anybody on the internet, for anybody at all, just leave me some comments and let me know if I need to make it later in the day. But I did try to make it late enough to take into consideration my West Coast peeps. Um, yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was very helpful in terms of passive income. And please like the video. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys next time.